An Ikeja Domestic Violence and Sexual Offences Court on Thursday sentenced a man, Michake Ogba, to life imprisonment for raping his 3 daughters, aged 10, 20, and 24. Reports available to newsmen says that Justice Abiola Sholadoye held that the prosecution proved beyond reasonable doubt the charge of rape brought against Ogba. The judge said it was disheartening that the man raped his daughters for years in the absence of his wife, describing his actions as a disgrace to parenthood. Ogba was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment on 3 counts. Mrs. Soladoye said the sentence would run concurrently and ordered that the convict should have his name written in the Lagos State Sexual Offenders Register. The Lagos State government, which brought the charge, presented 6 witnesses during the trial. It stated that the offences violated sections 137 and 258 subsection 1 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015. Nollywood actor Olarinwaju James, popularly known as Baba Ijesha, was on Thursday sentenced to 16 years in prison after being found guilty of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old foster daughter of actress and comedian Damilola Adekoya, alias Princess, in her Lagos residence. Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo of the Ikeja Special Offences Court handed down the judgment to serve as a deterrent to others engaged in child abuse. But is the 16-year jail sentence weighty enough to serve as deterrents to other rapists sprawling the streets and homes? Clearview TV's Imefo Nukon sought the views of some Abuja residents on the matter and filed this report.
According to the Lagos State Directorate of Public Prosecutions, who brought the accusations against the movie star, the offences violated sections 135, 137, 261, 202, 262, and 263 of the Lagos State Criminal Law 2015, which prescribes life in prison for perpetrators. Delivering judgment, Justice Taiwo said that the prosecution failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the defendant was guilty of all the charges against him. Justice Taiwo held that the confessional statement of the convict indicates that he romanced the survivor 7 years after the first incident by licking her fingers and arousing her, but denied inserting keys in her private parts. However, she found the defendant guilty of 4 of the 6 counts against him and proceeded to sentence the actor to 16 years behind bars. Reacting to the judgment, some Nigerians in Abuja, the federal capital city, think the 16 years imprisonment is not enough punishment for rapists.
What happened to Baba Ijesha, is a good one. Nigerians have been expecting this particular decision, court judgments. But the main thing is about implementation. It's about the action. If they have really given this judgment, it's a reality that he has been sentenced to 16 years imprisonment. We may not condemn whether it is proper or not, or whether it's enough or not. It's not really enough because he deserves capital punishment, whether to be killed immediately or not. But being given 16 years imprisonment is a good starting. So thank God the law has followed him. Let him be held so that it can be a lesson to other people misbehaving.
16 years is not enough punishment. The camp persons have to be disgraced by naked the person in public. Let everybody see, both young and old, let everybody see his nakedness.
But 16 years is actually not enough. It's not enough. And I think something better should be done, not 16 years. He should also, and it shouldn't be just a simple, he should not just serve a simple term as he's in that prison. He should serve something like with a hard labor or something like that, so that he will also feel the pains that this girl will go up with.
Having 16 years in the prison, what is left for him? Adding 16 years to his age, he has spent much out of his the years he was also spending on it. I think it should be enough for him to learn a lesson for him, and to others there, it's enough for that punishment. That punishment is enough.
Somebody like me, I don't think 16 years is enough, because some of men, they purposely did this thing. At times you will see them, they will say, I prefer those small ones rather than the big ones. As to me, that's 16. years is not enough for me.
Recall that Papa Ijesha was arraigned before Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo on June 24, 2019 on 6 counts of indecent treatment of a child, sexual assault. After the first hearing, the case, which lasted 2 hours, Papa Ijesha had entered a not guilty plea to each of the charges leveled against him. Imefono Kun, reporting for Clearview Television.
6 members of a notorious fraud and robbery gang have been arrested by operatives of the Edo State Police Command. Members of the syndicate, who specialized in fraudulently stealing money from their victims' accounts, were apprehended after they robbed occupants of a house in Benin City of their valuables.
These are suspects in the custody of the Edo State Police Command. They were arrested after some of them robbed a woman of her phone and other valuables. According to the police public relations officer, Chidi Nwabuzo, a complaint made by the woman, Omoyemi Oviazun, to the anti-kidnapping and cyber crime unit of the command after 400,000 naira removed from her account led to the arrest of one of the suspects, Joseph Okochukwu, in Ibadan after the phone was traced to him. He said the syndicate operate what is known streetwise as wire, where a SIM card is hacked, remove money from the victim's bank account.
They said that they belong to a criminal syndicate that specializes in stealing valuables, phones, and hacking into unsuspected victims' account. And that is exactly what was done to Mrs. Omoyemi Ovesu. They are between the ages of 20 to 32 years old. The suspects have been interrogated, their statements recorded, and they confess to the crime. Currently, the operatives are ready, good to go, to proceed to court.
The suspect played various roles in the wire operations. Joseph Okochukwu is left with the phones stolen to dispose of after the SIM have been removed. Richard GOTV manipulated the SIM and hacked into the victim's account, while Faith Effiong with others steal phones from shops while pretending to be pious.
So we'll just send the phone number to the guy. Then he's the one that will know how much is there. The only thing that we will know about is how much he's removing. If he remove 50,000, we'll see the debit from the SIM. Then we'll call him, hello. They have removed 50,000. He say yes. Now me come out and me jam. Yes.
If now 1 million.
Yes, yeah, 100,000 I used to get us 25 sometimes start. Where I know him through phone. Somebody that give me his number through phone, but we've met before. For his once that we met.
Okay, you don't show that guy.
Where he say market, I buy something, I send carry food.
For which area for enter the phone? Enter market buy something, carry phone.
Agbo
Road. And since when you started to teach people phone?
Since March.
The Edo State Police Public Relations Officer Chidi Nwabuzo, while assuring of proper investigation on the matter, advised the public to be observant of the environment and ensure adequate measures is taken to ensure the houses and other valuables are protected.
Residents and holidaymakers have fled towns and villages in France as fires are whipped up high by winds and tinder-dry conditions in several countries in Europe. More than 10,000 people have been forced to leave the southwestern Gironde region in the past few days. Dozens of fires are burning in Portugal and Spain, where temperatures have surged above 40 degrees Celsius. At least 281 deaths in the two countries were linked to the heat wave. Several towns in western Spain have been evacuated. The head of France's Firefighters Federation has warned of the impact global warming is having on civil protection. Heat waves have become more frequent, more intense, and last longer because of human-induced climate change. The world has already warmed by about 1.1 degrees Celsius since the industrial era began, and temperatures will keep rising unless governments around the world make steep cuts to emissions.